the King of Asanteban, the pillar of peace, His Royal Majesty Otumfuo, Dr. Osei Tutu the second.
Wasaji fogunye gwasio krasantinadwe kasangen.
Wasaji fogunye gwasio krasantinadwe kasangen.
Watakwaine kase krobiaine kasangen.
Watakwaine kase krobiaine kasangen.
Mema krobia rifi angumani kotokungen.
Mema krobia rifi angumani kotokungen.
Asante chantro champon fungen.
Asante chantro champon fungen.
Asante sesebo smendite.
Asante sesebo smendite.
Rabia santinadwe kasangen.
Rabia santinadwe kasangen.
Osechirichie mimodi nyewisio.
Osechirichie mimodi nyewisio.
Mwane benya sejuso supanyi ne akaba kuma sika papa no.
Mwane benya sejuso supanyi ne akaba kuma sika papa no.
Obinya sebi anko bebi.
Obinya sebi anko bebi.
Amenu atedi febale mefe kasangen.
Amenu atedi febale mefe kasangen.
Chewani tofi moje.
Chewani tofu moje ngen.
Adafroda diochmo champon fungen.
Adafroda diochmo champon fungen.
O so ni kroyo smendite.
O so ni kroyo smendite.
Eja koja na dia sedungen.
Eja koja na dia sedungen.
Akusi bi ekumrochmo champon fungen.
Akusi bi ekumrochmo champon fungen.
Eja go free say from no dem ferisi.
Eja go free say from no dem ferisi.
Probia santi kotokwa sundu yin wo say tutumi modi nyewisio.
Probia santi kotokwa sundu yin wo say tutumi modi nyewisio.
Una na musuma nkaba mpuntu oni nkoso ba Ghana ni asantimamu.
Una na musuma nkaba mpuntu oni nkoso ba Ghana ni asantimamu.
Obinya sebi anko bebi.
Obinya sebi anko bebi.
Brogo bakana ne from no dem ferisi.
Brogo bakana ne from no dem ferisi.
Mema jabindo da ko yadungen.
Mema jabindo da ko yadungen.
Yado ne dia ko boje juta tochmo. Bobianta kosi pepingen.
Bobianta kosi pepingen.
Entori me chamfoch mo champon fungen.
Entori me chamfoch mo champon fungen.
Bobekasi pimpomos menditen.
Bobekasi pimpomos menditen.
Bobiana de kasangen.
Bobiana de kasangen.
Oso chambe de mefe kasangen.
Uso chambe de mefe kasangen.
Champion fiafru. Oso entriboch mo champon fungen.
Champion fiafru. Oso entriboch mo champon fungen.
Anu fremengabu oso fremengabu.
Wanu fremenkep mo za fremenkep ngen.
Wasafo du se chama kuma jebo mo champon fungen.
Wasafo du se chama kuma jebo mo champon fungen.
Wasafo su obos menditen.
Wasafo basu obos menditen.
Wasafo na de kasangen.
Wasafo na de kasangen.
Wasaji fogunye gwasingen.
Wasaji fogunye gwasingen.
Wo krasantina de kasangen.
Wo krasantina de kasangen.
Woku wada toba de mefa gunya kwasi ajumna chemera.
Zoom.
My Lord, Honorable Attorney General, Minister for Justice, the President of the Ghana Bar, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
Zoom.
And should I say learned brothers and sisters? Just that. You were all reminded that in 1999 I was made an honorary member. And then again by association, my wife.
Zoom.
So on both sides, I'm also a learned brother. When the giants of the law unleash themselves in a marathon race, the wisest course for an oldie is to plead with the Fifth Amendment and stay silent.
So
I hope you understand why we had to skip the podium this morning. And I'm sure you would also appreciate that tonight we need more food than words. We are particularly pleased to be able to not only refresh you after the marathon speeches, but congratulate our grandson Yawachampon Boafo as he bows out after a highly successful tenure as president of the Ghana Bar Association. We join you for this annual gathering for the Bar Association. 3 years ago, you handed the presidency of the organization to our son Yabuafo, the first head of the Ashanti Bar to assume the presidency in about 20 years. After my son. Yes, I'm proud to observe that my grandson has had a very successful tenure, and he passes on the baton with the association in fine fettle. Thank you, Yao, for your sterling leadership and for being a credit to the Ashanti Bar. We will continue to draw on your energy, insight, and your devotion to both your profession and your people. Whoever has the honor of taking the baton from you can be assured of our continued support and our unwavering commitment to the rule of law and the administration of justice. It has always been such a great pleasure for us Antiman to welcome learned brothers and sisters to Kumasi. We like to think that Kumasi has become the second home for the bar and for the administration of justice. We not only try to provide a welcome space for professional practice, but a congenial environment for the unfettered dispensation of justice. Most important, we continue to demonstrate how traditional adjudication enhances the delivery of justice. We recall with pride that legal luminaries and legends like Dr. K. Crunchy Taylor, Archie Casley Hayford, Hayfrom Benjamin, Joe Randolph, D.F. Hannan once formed the core of the Ashanti Bar. Working in harmony with colleagues like Toto, Frank Mensah-Bonsu, Victor Usu, Kofi Saki, Akentana Piaminka, and my son Arnold, now ennobled as a Tipihine, who ran the famous practice of former British firm of J.J. Pillay. Poignantly, the Asantehene, that's my uncle, for example, himself had been served by such eminent solicitors as B.E. Tamaklo. I had the honor of being served by Papa Datsun of late, and I still have some other advisors in the person of Mujib and others who are all serving me and advising me on various issues. It speaks to our unwavering commitment to national cohesion and above all to justice without strings. As the seat of traditional governance, we are pleased to observe the growing acknowledgement of the role of traditional adjudication, not as an appendage, but as an integral part of the administration of justice in the country. I believe this to be the clear intent of the Constitution of the Republic when it entrenches the institution of chieftaincy, together with all its traditional councils as established by customary law and usage, is hereby guaranteed. I believe we only strengthen the constitutional order when we enhance the capacity of traditional authorities to absorb with due competence and equity the load of litigation that will otherwise clog the course. This morning, Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, gave us a picture of the giant strides being made in the administration of justice. For the first time, it has not been a demand to meet deficits of infrastructure, but an acknowledgement that the country is meeting the needs of the judicial service. What the nation needs now is to address the trust deficit fueled largely by the persistent political assault on the integrity and independence of the judiciary. You know better than I that the law operates within a social context and is shaped by the political values of the time. Somebody would always be responsible for the appointment of justices by the oath, but the oath of the judge swears but the oath the judge swears is never to be to the individual who appointed them, but the constitution of the land. Once enrobed, his or her duty is to interpret the laws without fear or favor, affection or ill will. The evidence I see from the judicial service is that no stone is being left unturned to enhance its capacity to deliver justice without fear or favor, affection or ill will. My earnest plea to the people of Ghana, especially our political leaders, journalists, social commentators and civil society advocates, is to think deeply before denigrating the system. We have a judiciary that may not be perfect, but it deserves credit for the positive efforts. I can think of many countries which look at Ghana and concede, sometimes listen to the wisdom of our musicians and reflect on a piece like Kofi Kanata's Obi Nyawaye, or listen to what my minstrels stand by me are saying, Obi Nyasebi and Kobebi. Let us try to accentuate the positive and give the noblemen and women we have ennobled in the judiciary the space and the impetus to stand up and be counted. It is right that you have devoted this year's conference to the upcoming presidential and parliamentary elections. Here, once again, the destiny of Ghana is at stake. It is not only the people of Ghana who are looking forward with considerable trepidation for the forthcoming elections. The international community is on tenterhooks, wondering if this oasis of peace in the turbulent ocean around us can be sustained. The issue for many is not who wins, but whether the conduct of the elections will be fair and will deliver a peaceful outcome. For my part, I remain pretty sanguine about the outcome of the two, for two main reasons. Ghanaians have arrived where we are, not by accident, but through the force of history. In our first quarter of a century of existence as an independent nation, we had tried almost every system of governance conceived by man. We've had a one-party state, we've had military rule of 3 different types, and we have experienced democracy with the power of the people to choose their government through the ballot box. However discreditable one may think of the people, I can see no circumstances in which Ghanaians will sacrifice the freedom of today, the prospect of changing their government by power of the thumb, for any other alternative. Secondly, however much one may distract the individuals in charge of the electoral process at any given time, it has been demonstrated that changes will occur in spite of the individual operatives. The evidence of our history is that the system does produce the outcome that reflects the voice of the people, and we remain ready, as always, to play our part to protect the integrity of the process when the need arises. So here again, I will appeal for a lowering of mistrust. Heightened vigilance is of course necessary, but we need to restore confidence between contesting political parties and candidates in the Electoral Commission. Would it not have been a good idea to have invited the candidates of the 2 major political parties to this conference to seek their commitment to the nation on the pursuit of peaceful campaign and the use of due process for the resolution of any unforeseen incidents? Finally, I congratulate you, your president, for his courageous comments on Galamsey this morning. Galamsey is an environmental enemy for the nation. What could be more serious for any people than to have the entire water supply system at risk? I think as lawyers you should find space during this conference to set up a panel to undertake a quick tour of the communities where this scourge is most prevalent, to see the extent of the crisis we face and hopefully deliberate on how the law should respond. As I see it, If an individual poisons the water supply of a community, he will be liable for severe consequences under the law. What does the law do when one pours mercury into the same water supply, knowing fully well it can kill?
Zoom.
This issue now requires the collective effort of all sections of society.
Zoom.
To do nothing is no longer an option. The Bar Association, the Medical Association, and the universities, in particular my university, should get together and carve a new path to deal with this emergency. Yesterday, whilst I was driving from Cape Coast, in fact, going to Cape Coast, I stopped over at the River Pra. And it was, I'm afraid I have to tell you that what I saw, the river, it was so embarrassing. And then if as a nation we live for this to happen to us, I don't know. We have to fight this.
Zoom.
No matter what, we have to do that.
Zoom. Zoom.
I wish you fruitful deliberations, and Nananum and the mayor are hereby authorized to ensure that members do enjoy everything, and I mean everything, that Kumasi has to offer. Thank you for your attention.
Zoom. Yeah. Isn't that wonderful? So another round of applause for the king. We are all waiting for one item. The item is the royal dance. Perhaps this is the first time our king has a wonderful legs to dance. So that's what we are waiting for. Tonight we will have the pleasure of seeing the king dance once again. But the floor is open. And as the king said, we have to eat all. Eat all you can. Drink all you can. Dance all you can. Is the band ready? Now we have to burn some calories. So the floor is open for you with dance to the glory of His Majesty Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II. It's been a wonderful night. And Mr. President, how did you know that the bandbaggers are a distraction? I don't know whether they are a distraction or they are the floor is now open.